Good evening. I'm Manisha Thakkar and I welcome you all to Sports Today. IPL is just not a league. It is a festival for all cricket lovers and we are absolutely ready for what? For the first match between the defending champions, which is Mumbai Indians, and Royal Challengers Bangalore, which is less than 24 hours from now. Well, first things first, can we have the AV for fan file?
This game involves an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk.
I would like to welcome Deep Das Gupta, Pragyan Ojha, and Rajoshi Gupta for an enthusiastic conversation. Well, a very warm welcome to you, gentlemen, as we are absolutely ready to commence the 14th edition, which is IPL 2021. Okay, so first let's talk about Mumbai Indians and their domination in the IPL over the years. The bench strength of Mumbai Indians has been terrific, as we have seen in the past few years. So what are your thoughts, Pragyan, on this season?
I think MI looks a complete side. If you look at past couple of years, they are the sides who have not changed much. If you look at the 11, if you look at their 15, and in the auction, if you go through their picks that they've done, they were looking for replacements. They were not looking for replacements if they had an injury to their playing 11. It was not like other teams where they were looking to have players for their playing 11. So the entire team is set, and I think they look a very solid side with back-to-back two titles. I think they're the most confident side. I wish they should have the confidence, but not overconfidence.
I'm sure that they won't have. Well, so Deep, what do you think? Which team can challenge Mumbai Indians this year?
Well, I guess Pragyan spoken like a true ex-Mumbai Indians player. But he's true.
I felt the same.
Yeah, but he's right. He's right. I mean, Mumbai Indians again this year would be the team to beat, and as you rightly put, who's going to be the teams who's going to challenge them? Well, personally, I think I think this is going to be the most competitive IPL that we've ever seen. This is my personal view, because I think I thought all the teams before the auction were very well balanced, but after the auction even more, because all of them have strengthened. Some they've strengthened their bench, as Pragyan mentioned with MI. Some of them they've actually strengthened their playing 11. So I think this is going to be extremely competitive tournament. And if you have to pick a team who can beat MI, I think on their day any team can beat MI, or any team for that matter, because I think almost all squads are that good. Again, I say this before every IPL start, that IPL is also about how players gel together. You can have 11 amazing individual, but as a team they might not gel because they don't have the time to get to know each other. Especially a few teams which have taken a few players who will straight away fit into their playing 11. So I think the biggest challenge is how everyone gels together, what kind of form they are, what kind of mental space they are in. But having said that, yes, MI might still be one of the favorites to win it. But on their day, any team can beat anyone, especially this format.
Right. Well, among the many changes seen in IPL 2021, we have also seen changes in captaincy, like Rishabh Pant taking over Shreyas Iyer for Delhi Capitals and Sanju Samson leading the Rajasthan Royals. How do you think both these wicket-keeper batsmen will handle their roles, and do you think it will affect the aggressive batting approach? Rajesh?
Okay, Raj.
Yeah, Deep, go ahead.
Go. Raj.
It's always it's always good to hear from an amazing commentator like Deep.
No, I mean, listen. For me, I think I wanted to button because obviously I'm biased towards keepers, but Pragyan will vouch for me that keepers are natural leaders. So, anyways, on the field, wicket keepers are whether they're officially captain or not, they are kind of lead the side when the team's on the field. So yeah, I'm not surprised that more and more keepers are getting that captaincy band, and I'm sure that they will do well. I mean, in the past as well, if you pick up any wicket keeper who's led their sides at whatever level, they've all been quite successful. So I won't be surprised if the same happens with whether it's Rishabh or it's Sanju.
And moreover, they're such different characters as well, aren't they? Rishabh Pant and Sanju Samson. In fact, Rishabh Pant, it was this. There was this moment when he was already sledging these overseas players at the Delhi Capitals nets. He's like, "Welcome to India. This is how it's going to be. That extra spin, that extra bounce, the variable bounce that comes along with Indian conditions." But as far as Rajasthan Royals are concerned, I'm not so sure Sanju Samson is going to keep wickets. But yeah, well, he's got great tactical nuance, and how much of that he plays up for the Royals, that will be interesting to see. But Rishabh Pant, we've seen a lot of him over the last 4 or 5 months. You have to pick one or two individuals from a startling string of performances for the Indian cricket team for the last 4 months. It's got to be Rishabh Pant. It's got to be one of them, right? Because and also there is such method to his madness. We've discussed that a lot of times on Sports Today. That he comes across as this maverick with unorthodox shot selection, with a lot of funny banter from behind the wickets. But it's also, there is a definite method to the madness that he brings along on the field, whether it's shot selections and those unorthodox shots, those ramp shots, whether he's paddle sweeping a pacer at 140 kmph. There is always a lot to expect from Rishabh Pant. It'll be interesting to see how he gels with Ricky Ponting and the rest of that support staff. It's also how he handles the seniors, how he takes everyone along. Of course, it's a forced change, and it's unfortunate that Shreyas Iyer will not play this tournament. He's successfully had his operation this morning, but we'll have to wait and see. And Deep is right. You've seen wicket keepers around the years, natural leaders, even if they're not been captains, how they change their inputs as far as field placements are concerned, because they have the Hawkeye view from behind the wickets to see what changes have to be incorporated. And of course, you've seen one of India's finest ever captains carry out that role from behind the stumps. It's going to be fascinating to see what Rishabh Pant does as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. We all are looking forward to it. Well, now let's talk about the young talents we have. Like, we have seen Ishan Kishan, we have seen Krunal Pandya, we have seen Prasidh Krishna, and they have performed pretty well in the recent India-England series. So what do you think about them, Pragyan? Your thoughts on them?
Yes, Ishan Kishan, Krunal Pandya, and Prasidh Krishna, they have been the find. But the best part is the selection that went through, the process, which I believe in. If you look at their domestic cricket, recently they have done really well to get into the side and see the results. Krunal Pandya played well. Yes, a couple of games, the wickets were very good. But if you look at overall, he was there. He showed that he belongs there. So was Ishan Kishan and Prasidh Krishna. I'm really happy because once the process is followed, it's an encouragement for the domestic cricketers, especially who don't get a chance in the IPL to showcase their talent. And I'm really happy that the selectors are making sure that guys who are performing consistently in domestic cricket are getting their chances.
Absolutely. Also, Pragyan, this one's for you as well. That we have seen Shardul Thakur improving his variations in bowling and can be handy with the bat as well. Well, the squad of CSK has a lot of bowlers who can bat as well. Like Moeen Ali, we have Sam Curran, we have Dwayne Bravo, we have Ravindra Jadeja. So, what do you think? Like, what are CSK's all-rounder capabilities?
I think the biggest question for CSK is MS Dhoni. And as far as he's leading, I always believe that CSK will have something special to offer. Now that MSD has got his main man back, Suresh Raina, I think it will be a different side. And everybody knows how MS Dhoni handles the whatever he has in his hands, he gets the best out of it. So saying that, I'm very sure they will have some plan, and I don't know how Moeen Ali will fit in, how much game time he will get, and Imran Tahir. But yes, Karan Sharma will get some game time, and I'm sure Sam Curran will be very important for this setup, um, because he has been performing for them. And last year, I know there were a lot of things going against CSK, but we've seen an informed Jadeja, we've seen an informed Sam Curran. I am very sure they will have something special to offer. That is a team which you can never underestimate, no matter what, because their leader is MSD.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So this one's to all three of you. What do you think? And Chennai bounce back from last year's debacle?
Well, if I go first, I think they can bounce back. But can they qualify? I mean, would I have them pre-tournament? Again, this is pre-tournament. Would I have them in my top four? Maybe not. Maybe not, because I was just looking at the setup of the team. If you look at the setup of the CSK side, it's set up, and we've said this even last season. It is set up basically keeping in mind their 7 games at Chepauk, their home ground. Unfortunately, again this year they won't be playing at home. And where are they playing? That's important. They're playing 5 games in Mumbai, 3 in Bangalore, and 2 in Kolkata. So 10 out of the 14 games on high scoring venues, right? Where 180 is pass score or whatever. So I think that's not their strength. That at least wasn't their strength. Things can change. Obviously, they've gotten few new players and all. So this is how I see. I mean, they will bounce back because obviously, as Pragyan mentioned, they have the players, they have the experience. Uh, but do I see them in the top four start of the tournament? Just maybe not.
Okay, all right. So what do you think, Rajoshi?
Look, I completely agree with Pragyan when he said, they have the wherewithal to bounce back, and also with Deep when he says, it's been a tough couple of years for a lot of these teams, and you look at the way the Super Kings have been primed up over their successful editions, the 3 championships that they won. They've obviously done a lot of work around their conditions at the Chepauk. But again, Dhoni, like Pragyan said, he's their biggest cushion, right? And that man, he there was some startling decisions. There was this fixation with Kedar Jadhav. Now they've let him go. But also you got to look at the couple of plugs that have automatically slotted back in. Suresh Raina, again, we were discussing that in one of the pre-tournament shows with Pragyan. We were figuring out how Suresh Raina's presence, I mean, that sort of adds a lot of heft to the batting, because last time they got that wrong. I was surprised that they did not play Ruturaj Gaikwad much before those last 3 or 4 matches, by when CSK's fortunes were already dwindling in the tournament. But now, if you look at that overall setup, I think that first 11 is beginning to look far more promising than last season. Deep and Pragyan, I would also want your views on that, because you have someone like Sam Curran. You look at that playing 11. I was working out a couple of these playing 11s for the favorites. For me, I would still say CSK is one of my last 4, because you have that cushion with Raina coming back, and you have Ruturaj Gaikwad, who was in good form the last 3 games. Also, you have Sam Curran up in that lineup, and Moeen Ali's inclusion does a lot. And it depends on how these teams use Moeen Ali. CSK, how they use Moeen Ali, or KKR, how they use Shakib Al Hasan, because I do not think Moeen Ali was very well used by the Royal Challengers when he played there. So that will be interesting to see. And if they get their placements right, I hope someone like Ruturaj Gaikwad gets to play a lot of games in this tournament. So that some of the bases are covered from what we saw last year.
Right. Well, Pragyan, do you have to say something on this?
Yes, it will be very interesting with the openers, because I somehow feel that Robin might open. Robin is someone who MSD trusts, and he's got a lot of experience as far as IPL is concerned. He's been a consistent member of most of the teams in the tournament, and he's played the finals. He's seen those situations. So I'm very sure they they will start with Robin, and Faf as opener, and then maybe Rituraj. Unfortunately, I feel that he will get a chance later on.
Okay.
But Pragyan, then isn't that also, conflicting with processes, because you had relied on Ruturaj Gaikwad to sort of give you some sense of respectability? I know Pragyan and I had this interesting debate about MS Dhoni's spark remark last year. But
Yes,
has
see,
he
when you
seen enough
talk about
spark in
process,
Ruturaj?
no,
Has he
yes,
seen
he
enough
has.
spark?
In fact, if you listen to what Rituraj
Yeah,
Gaikwad has said, he said that MS Dhoni showed a lot of trust in him. He was
yeah,
talking to him and he was guiding him. So yes, he's there in the mix of things. But what I see from outside is right now CSK needs someone who's got a lot of experience. And if you see that, it's Robin Uthappa. Uh, and we all have seen when Robin opens the innings in comparison to when he comes in the middle order, there is a huge difference. So if
true.
they have to play Robin, they will play him as an opener. He
Yeah,
cannot bat down the order. So I believe they will use Robin as an opener.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, a little earlier we were talking about all rounders. Now let's talk about Andre Russell, because he was talking about Robin Uthappa and everything. Like I was like, okay, so, at some point of time he was playing for KKR, and Andre Russell just came to my mind. And well, he was not so fruitful in last year's IPL. But throughout his IPL career, he was phenomenal. Like we have seen that how he has helped Kolkata Knight Riders team to win matches when they were actually not winning it. So, what do you think? How will KKR like? Will KKR be benefited from his all round capabilities this season? And which position should he bat at?
Uh,
That's for Pragyan.
Dibai, go.
No, no, go, Pragyan. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching closely, if you have been tracking and Andre Russell's progress, he was given a program for last 3 4 months. He was in United States of America, training hard, trying to get back into shape, trying to get those niggles out of the way before this tournament starts. So I think they have been KKR management have been working really hard with Russell to make sure that he's back into that proper mindset and his body is totally fit, where he doesn't think about other things when he's going out and playing for them. And once that happens, we will see the vintage Russell coming out and batting in the middle order, or maybe they can shuffle him anywhere when they want that fireworks and those quick runs for their team. That's what he can do. And we had seen in the last tournament, he was not fit, he was not able to run. But I'm very sure they have worked with him the way exactly the way they were working with Nagar Koti and Shivam Mavi. So these things are very important. When you take care of your players and make sure that they are mentally and physically fit and there, they will deliver. And it's a good thing that franchisee cricket are understanding how the boards run. They are adapting similar kind of patterns.
Right, Pratyan. And we will take Deep's views on the same.
Well, for me, I think it's very, very important. Sunil Narayan and Andre Russell, two players who have been so integral to KKR's success over the years. And unfortunately, both of them, they've had their own share of issues. Andre Russell, again, apart from his fitness issues, the other important thing that did not help his cause were the pitches back in UAE, because a lot of bowlers were bowling quick balls, back of length balls, things which would come to his, waist or chest height, which, I mean, so kind of bowlers kind of found out where to bowl to Andre Russell last season. This season it could be different because obviously we're back in India. The pitches might not have as much carry and pace as we saw in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. But again, if I have to go back, because I just have a feeling that the venues will play an important role. And if I have to go back and look at KKR's venues, I mean, Chennai, they're playing three, Mumbai, they're playing two games there, Ahmedabad, four, Bangalore, five. So that kind of, if you look at those venues kind of help batsmen, power hitters like Andre Russell. Mumbai is a high scoring ground. Ahmedabad, we've seen, is a high scoring ground. Bangalore is a very high scoring ground. So, I mean, it does help. Uh, uh, players like Andre Russell, batsmen like Andre Russell, and as Pragyan mentioned, obviously he's been working on his fitness, so we might get to see the all-rounder Andre Russell, because last couple of years we haven't really seen the Andre Russell, the bowler, as much. So might be we might be able to see the whole package this season with all the work that has gone behind it.
Right. Well, my next question would be for Rajoshri. Well, a lot many teams are changing their names, changing their jersey. I think for Chennai it's okay, but like I feel that they're doing it for luck. Maybe this time this jersey, this pattern may work for them. But when it comes to Mumbai, why are they changing it? Like, do they still need some luck to it? They are the winners for so many consecutive years. What do you have to say on this, Rajoshri?
Listen, Anisha, you need a lot of luck if you're running into Mumbai Indians as an opposition. So I don't think Mumbai Indians they need anything else. But yeah, it's jerseys. As far as I understand, it's a lot about branding for teams. It's a lot about changing your looks. Team name changes sometimes work like that as well. Probably it's about luck. Probably it's just they would just want to have a look at what a different team name can do. But both Pragyan and Deep, elite cricketers, they will tell you that that has you make your own luck and you make your own destiny. So someone like Kings 11 Punjab, who have changed the name to Punjab Kings, I think that's what you were referring to, they would also want to continue and hope that they pick up shreds of their performances from last year, and hope that they are luckier this time in terms of how they deliver on the field and be more consistent across the tournament, rather than winning 5 and 6 and then just 1 or 2 losses here and then. And also what the net run rate can do. A lot of teams will, remember, this only about 5 or 6 months after that last edition that they're playing the 14th season of the Indian Premier League. So yes, luck does matter, but I think also with the jerseys, it's a lot about branding, getting a new look for your team. Mumbai Indians, well, do they need more luck? If they're aiming for a hat trick of tournaments, then spare a thought for the other 7. Where are these guys going to go? Mumbai Indians have everything. They have the arsenal, they have the wherewithal, the firepower, and Anisha, more luck. Well, good luck to the opposition.
Yeah, and who's your top 4, Rajoshri, for this year?
Oh God, I usually do that to Pragyan, Deep, and Boria.
Okay,
shouldn't these two gentlemen go first, because they are the experts. They are
anyway, I think I know who his favorite is, but still, Pragyan, if I ask you that who's your top 4, who would which 4 teams would that be?
See, I'll just tell you the 3. You know the 4th one.
This can go viral.
Yes, the other 3 for me would be Sunrisers, Delhi Capitals, and CSK.
And why?
CSK, I told you, because MSD, he's the X factor, and Suresh Raina is back. So it'll be a very different side, I'm very sure. And SRH, I feel they are also a very good side. They are well balanced. And Delhi Capitals, we have seen what they have done last year. Only thing which would be a new challenge for Delhi Capitals, that would be the Rishabh Pant being the captain. So how well he handles, because when the captaincy changes, we have seen the team at times they lose that momentum. But it will be very important to see how Rishabh Pant handles things.
Right. Exactly. And we know that who's the first one in your top 4. So he's not talking about. All right. The same question to Deep now, because as Rajoshri mentioned, that question always goes to both of you. So yeah.
Right. So obviously MI and the other 2 teams that Pragyan and I have in common are SRH and DC. DC, I think, is extremely balanced, whether it's spinners, fast bowlers, whether it's fast as in power hitters like Stoinis or Hetmeyer or Rishabh Pant, or you have the other side of the table as well, people like Steve Smith and Ajinkya Rahane, who can solidify that whole batting unit. So DC and SRH, because also SRH is a very underrated side at times and goes under the radar, but they're a very, very good side again. And my 4th team, I might surprise a few. For me, I don't know. I just have I have a good feeling about RCB this year. I know they've I mean, they've always had a good side or a decent side, but they haven't really played to their potential. But with Virat opening, and I also have a feeling that, I mean, I said this last season as well, so don't hold it against me. I think Glenn Maxwell might, I mean, might see a different Glenn Maxwell in IPL this season.
You're a brave man, Deep. You're a very brave man.
No,
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 I
that's what
Having
that's
said
what
that, sorry,
exactly people think. That's exactly
sorry.
how people think when they enter the auction. See, Glenn Maxwell is a package. Everybody believes that he will deliver.
yeah.
So that's how it is, and I'm sure that he should do it this year because there is a lot at stake for him.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the last time, I guess. I guess. But having said that, let me also just put this caveat out there. I think, again, as I mentioned right at the top, I think it's a very, very competitive IPL this season. All 8 teams are equally balanced. Maybe a couple of teams a little better than the others, maybe. But again, the reason why I'm talking about Glenn Maxwell is I think his role is very defined. I think RCB, when you look at that side, and now that Virat has said that he's going to open, the roles are very defined there. That is one. Secondly, I also believe it's very important that the player and the and the franchise should be on the same page in terms of how they are, their philosophy, and somehow I have a feeling someone like Maxwell and RCB, they're very similar. So again, maybe I'm finding reasons or trying to find reasons for Maxwell to do well, because listen, he is a good player. We all know that. We've seen him outside IPL. He can be very, very destructive, but it's just for some reason him and IPL, they don't go together. But I just hope, and I have a feeling that this might just be a different year.
all right.
No, I agree. I'll tell you why. Anisha, the thing is, I second Deep's point when he's talking about Virat Kohli, the opener, but it also remains to be seen if he's opening alongside Devdutt Padikkal, how Devdutt Padikkal also bats, because when he opened for India in that final game against England alongside Rohit Sharma, he was going hammer and tongs, and Virat Kohli, he's far more orthodox than Rohit Sharma when he starts off the innings. So you need somebody to just let that pressure off. And remember, he opened in 2016. And
Okay.
we all know.
Quick one, Rajeshri. Any news on Padikkal? I mean, obviously he's negative,
He's
but
fine. He's negative, and he's
he's
joined the team.
he's
he's
joined
joined the
he's
team.
joined
No,
the
but
session. Yes,
he's
he's joined
physically
he's
fit
joined
to
the
play,
next.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He will be
Then, sorry.
available. He will be available. So it
Okay.
is, because Virat opened in 2016, we all saw what happened, and of course that was a come from behind storm into the final. But for me, it's like 1+3, right? Mumbai Indians is already given. I would go with Delhi Capitals. I have Sunrisers Hyderabad again, common with both Deep and Pragyan. I will also, for me, I'll put a punt on Punjab Kings, because if you also look at their venues, right? Mumbai, they're also playing, I think, two games, I think, in Chennai, if I'm not mistaken, and then they're playing in Ahmedabad and Bangalore. Again, a power pack batting lineup. You have someone like David Malan coming in. KL Rahul, his form will be critical. He will, of course, take a lot of his confidence from the ODIs into the IPL. Of course, the orange cap holder himself, he had a brilliant season in 2020, and he's proven himself to be an astute captain, an astute leader. So I'm also banking on Punjab Kings to deliver and go to the next step and get into the final four. So Mumbai Indians will, and both Deep and Pragyan have said that it's going to be a competitive tournament. I completely agree with that, because they have played so much in these bubbles. They have now gotten used to playing without crowds. So you wouldn't see that level of rustiness that you saw probably in the first 2 or 2.5 weeks of the 2020 IPL. So, well, we'll all see how we hold up to our last four in about 5 weeks from now. So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, RCB was quite a surprise for me from which.
One minute, Anisha. Sorry to cut in. Sorry to cut in on you. You don't get to get away without specifying your top four. Everybody is going to be accountable after
No
I think
KKR,
you know
but
that. I think you
no
know
KKR
that.
for you.
Nobody actually mentioned KKR, and you all know that being. I'm a Bengali first, and then a Gujarati, and also I'm from Kolkata. So obviously, whatever happens, I'm with KKR all the time.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's number one in my list. And also, yesterday we were talking about that none of the teams are getting the home advantage, right? And Deep already gave his views on that. What do you think, Pragyan? Is that's going to affect the team's performance?
We had seen this in UAE. Lot of teams, when you're trying to get them in the auction, we are building your team. You plan because you have got 8 games in your home venue. So most of the teams they have done that. When they don't have that home advantage, obviously, a few teams like MI, maybe Delhi or SRH, they will be little ahead of others, but if you look at CSK, yes, they struggled last time because they had made a team for having a vision about they're going to play 8 games in Chepauk, but they could not play any. They were planning for the slow wickets. So yes, that's a challenge for every team, but that's how it is when you're playing one of the most uh, hyped and talked about tournament, and with some I think this is one of the best leagues in the world. So I think these are the things which will come with that.
Yeah. Can I just add to that, Pragyan? I mean, I also believe the same as you mentioned, but I was just having a chat with a ex-cricketer both of us are very friendly with, and he said, and he makes a lot of sense. And he said, listen, CSK or Chepauk played the way it did because it suited CSK. But now that it's going to be a neutral venue, chances are it might not play the same. Also, the venue, it might just play better
Good point.
because so I also kind of agree to him. Again, we'll figure out tomorrow. You're there in Chennai, Pragyan. You would see it firsthand with your own eyes. But I guess we'll figure out tomorrow how the pitches will behave. Will it actually play neutrally, or will it kind of will have some as in some memories of what we've seen in IPL before?
What little I gathered here was because there was no cricket in Chepauk and few of the other grounds, so the wickets are going to be good in the first half. But later on, once they enter the tournament, maybe they'll start behaving little slower.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. Well, that's it for the night. I'm sure that everybody is excited for tomorrow's match, especially Deep because RCB will be playing. So, yeah.
So is MI.
So now I'm the entire season. I'm gonna talk with Deep about this. Well, I'm sure the teams are geared up. They are all excited, and I wish them all the best. And I believe that you all wish them all the best because the season has just begun. And also for all the Sports Today viewers, there's a great news for all of you because we are coming with amazing shows for all of you throughout the season. Let me give you a quick review of what we are getting for you. That is, we have 10 a.m. previous matches match summary. We have 12 p.m. fantasy masterclass and talking points. 2 p.m. fan face off. 4 p.m. fantasy picks for the match. 6 p.m. pre-match show. 7 p.m. update show, which is toss teams, and we talk about pitch. 11:30 p.m. post-match show, where you're going to see me. I'm going to talk about it. Well, on Double Headers Day, which is starting from April 18, we will have other elements, which remains the same. 11 a.m. we have fan face off again. 1 p.m. fantasy picks of the day, and it goes on. It's a long list altogether. Well, to all my lovely viewers, I'll be joining you in this space of Sports Today this season for all the pre and post match updates. What you have to do is you just have to subscribe Sports Today YouTube channel to get an update of all the IPL 2021 news. Thank you.